What's up, YouTube? This is James coming back at you with another informative video. I hope everybody's doing well out there on this Friday. I'm doing good myself, just glad it's Friday. Shabbat Shalom to all the brothers and sisters in recognition to observing this day as a holy day to worship the Most High. Sundown this evening to sundown tomorrow evening. Let's get some worship and praises in people. We definitely need it. In case you're wondering, actually, this is a follow-up story. And thanks to the sister Queen, I know who I am, for bringing this story to me because I was wondering, who the victims was, of the Molson Coors shooting about a couple weekends ago, or something like that. And yeah, there was a mass shooting at Molson Coors Miller factory. I think that's what it's called. And these are the so-called victims right here. Okay, and like I said, they released the names first, but they never showed pictures, of the victims or what have you. Now, as you can see, you got Jesus Valet Jr., age 33, Trevor Wessler, age 33, Dale Hudson, age 60. And I guess this is Janetti Jean Lufshetz, age 61, and Dana Walk, age 57. But now they left out another victim, as a matter of fact. And the victim was a shooter. And I know some people may disagree with me and say, well, how can the shooter, be a victim? Well, when we go through this story that we're going to embark upon, you're going to find out why I say that the shooter was a victim. And while we're talking, let's go over to the shooter right quick. See, there he is. He's the shooter, and his name is Anthony Farrell. I think I'm pronouncing it right. And hey, this man right here apparently had endured some very, very demeaning and racial type things. He was basically a victim of racism at that beer factory. See, they're quick to want to tell, expose the shooter for what he may have done, but they're not exposing the so-called victims, which in turn, actually, if you look at it, all 6 of them were victims, including the shooter. He's the sixth one that I'm adding. Let's go over here to this story. You'll see what I mean. Here it says Molson Coors Gunman had Noose placed on his locker in 2015. You see my point? This man was going through a lot of racial shit at that place. And I guess that particular day, when he was fired, and it led up to those 5 people that were supposed to be victims, leading up to him getting fired, that was the straw that broke the camel's back. Now, I'm not condoning mass shootings in any way, shape, or form. But the thing is this. I'm sure, I can say I'm sure that this man, Anthony Farrell, reported these people that was meddling him on the job and then turned around and caused him to lose his job. You understand? What kind of racial harassment he was enduring at that place. And Molson Coors evidently didn't do anything. This shit has been going on since 2015. See? So basically, Molson Coors is the one that is complacent what happened to all 6 of these people. All right? I know a lot of people don't want to, like I said, put Anthony Farrell in with the other 5. But Molson Coors failed to put a stop to this kind of shit right here. I mean, you gonna mess with a person on the job, racial shit that you putting on, lockers, nooses, and all that kind of shit. And I bet you money that man reported their ass for doing it, and Molson Coors didn't do anything. What about that? Molson Coors is complacent. See, and look what they caused. Now, the so-called victims of the shooting, of course, everybody's going to look at them like they was salt of the earth, but nobody ever said some of the things that they may have been doing. Those were the ones that were targeted. Like I said in the first place, workplace bullying should be an offense, punishable by, not only being fired, but jail time, as far as I'm concerned. Let's get into this story. A week ago, 51-year-old Anthony Farrell killed himself. Well, it was a week ago. Okay. And 5 of his co-workers at the Molson Coors brewery in Milwaukee. While a motive is still unclear, recently revealed information may provide some context as to why he committed such a heinous act. Molson Coors has revealed that in 2015, Farrell arrived to work to find that a noose had been put on his locker, according to the NBC News. Farrell didn't see the news, but was instead informed by HR of the incident. The company launched an internal investigation of the incident, but the culprit was never found. Well, I bet you when Mr. Farrell did his investigation, he found out the conspirators, the one was the conspirators who was doing that shit. See? And that's what brought all this on. And then you turn around and cause him to get fired? I don't know when people like that gonna learn. Ain't nobody going for this shit. Ain't nobody going for racist bullying on the job. You understand? I think Mr. Farrell had been at that place for like 10, 20 some years or something like that. For a long time, if I'm not mistaken. I know it had to be, I think it's somewhere between 10 or 20 years. But to continue, Adam Collins, Molson Coors Chief Communication and Corporate Affairs Officer, has said there aren't words to describe that. It's awful. Collins went on to release a statement that said, "There's no two ways about it. We have more work to do. Fostering an inclusive and welcoming workplace is something every organization has to work toward each day, and we aren't going to shy away from our responsibility to take a deep look at our own culture following this event." Well, see, the thing about it is this. If you just shun off whenever a black, employee come to you and tell you that you got some white counterparts, co-workers, doing racist shit to them, and you fail to do anything about it, then guess what? You're a part of the problem. You are a part of the problem. So you can keep the speech, man. That's basically, because look what all this shit led to just because you failed to do anything about it. But to continue, State Senator Lena Taylor believed that this incident could have contributed to Farrell's actions. She stated, "From what we're hearing on the ground and knowing Milwaukee's racial climate, yes." Milwaukee's racial climate. And it says, yes, there's certainly a possibility that this incident may have been a motive in the shooting. Workplace racism is unfortunately common. I feel like most folks of the black and brown persuasions have stories of racist incidents in the workplace. It's no reason to take the lives of others. It's also pretty sad that it took a man shooting up his workplace to convince a company to build a healthier culture. Well, like I said, the company evidently didn't care. They wanted this kind of thing to lead up to this man just reaching, his boiling point. See? It was wrong all the way around, Should nobody, black, brown, whatever you want to call, because black is brown as far as I'm concerned, all of that stuff. We brown, you know what I mean? But anyway, be that as it may, male or female shouldn't have to go to work and endure this kind of shit. And we know a lot of us go straight to HR and report this kind of shit, and nothing ever happens behind it. Except, as in this case, this man losing his job. See? It's bullshit. This man was a victim too. He was a victim first. Anthony Farrell. My advice to the families of this man right here, I think you should seek legal consultation for this. You really should. Against Molson Coors. Molson Coors, Miller. You need to, seek legal consultation against that company, because had they acted in time, your family member here wouldn't have never been fired, number one, or dead, or been shot up 5 people. Now let's go back over here to these co-conspirators here. Boom. Yeah. See? They got them up here looking like they the most innocent things that ever walked the earth. See? But see, your racial deeds will find your ass out. Stop going on these jobs fucking with people. See? Stop with all that shit. See, because all it got you was dead. That's all it got you. Let this be a lesson to the rest of you racist ass folks out there that want to go out here and bully black folks and do little dirty shit to them on the job. And then when you piss them off, you want to go and tell like he's the problem. See, let this be a lesson right here. Of course, yeah, he got him too with his life. As far as I'm concerned, none of y'all asses was worth it. You wasn't worth it. You wasn't. It's too bad that brother didn't have a moment of clarity to figure that out while he was going through, what he was going through at the time. But hell, I've been there. I've had times within myself, you know what I mean, to where I had to reach deep, as they say, deep down and control myself on certain situations. And then the times that I didn't do it, you understand, I had, my wife or what have you, or another relative, or my, like mother or whatever, even especially my dad, just map everything out to me. Look, you're going to have to stop and think about this shit right here, man. Calm down. Because see, if you got to think about, if you do these things, guess what? This is what's going to determine what happens thereafter. That may not be so well for you when it's all said and done. You understand? See? But as far as I'm concerned, on the real, this was the real victim. He was the original victim. This man right here. But y'all tell me what y'all think about this story right here. I'm interested in hearing y'all thoughts, views, and opinions on it. Like, comment, share, and subscribe. And please remember, people, to live your life as though we are being watched. This is James, and I'm out. Peace.